Hello and welcome back to another Total War Warhammer replay. Today I am playing good old Chaos. Until I get my demons in the third game, these guys are going to have to do. I'm playing Chaos against High Elves. In the front line, I went with normal Chaos Warriors. These guys actually put pretty decent work in against High Elves. They can beat Spearmen. They can put up a good fight against White Lions, but they do lose the sword masters, but they'll put up still a good fight. I also had the Regiment of Renown, the Mirror Guard. These guys are just so fucking looking cool. They are just such a cool looking unit. But yep, had them. They have a bit better stats and they're immune to psychology, so that's very, very nice. On either flank, I had two Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. These guys have armor-piercing missiles, and they're very fast, and they're just good for just sort of like, attacking and sort of, feeling each other out and being gay, sort of like. Over here, I've got some Chaos Trolls. These guys, I wouldn't usually take these, but this is a bit of an off-meta pick. The reason you don't take Chaos Trolls, I mean, these ones are armored, so they have, a little bit of missile resistance, but the thing is, they have poor leadership. And basically, they can just be denied. They have a lot of models, so they can take a lot of damage very quickly by missiles. So it's very rare to bring them. I've also taken Archeon, the Ever Chosen. He's a very nice pick. He's shielded. He's got armor. He's a spellcaster, so of course, pretty additional stuff. The Burning Head, and I've took Cascading Fire Cloak, which is of course plus 27 melee defense. And plus 20% armor, which is always good. Of course, I give him the Crown of Domination and the Slayer of Kings, which of course basically makes him an absolute monster. I also over here have a Exalted Hero on Manticore. I like bringing these guys, especially against High Elves, because if they take Alarielle, then you can pretty much send the Exalted Hero after her the entire game, and it's just absolutely lovely, because that's always a problem for your your opponent to micromanage. So if they bring Alarielle, I always bring an Exalted Hero just in case. For my anti-large, for a bit of fun, I brought the Summoners of Rage, the Dragon Ogres. These guys have magic attacks, of course they're bonus versus large, and they also have the Chain Lightning, which is like a one-off ability that they have. Very, very nice. It does a lot of damage. If it's a big group of enemies, it can do a lot. Paired them with a couple of Chaos Warhounds, of course, with the poison. That's really good. Nice matchup, so they can obviously tie down any Dragon Princes. And yeah, that's pretty much for my army. As for my opponent, he does have, oh my god, Aleph Anar. I think that's how you say it. Fuck. No, you have to say it more gay-like. I can't say it. But he's pretty much a armor-piercing. I mean, he's a very rare pick. I mean, you don't usually see him. He's not very meta, so, very risky pick for my opponent. But I do like it. Maybe he thought I might take Kolek, and then in that instance, then taking this guy against Kolek would actually have been a very good pick. But, yeah, he's got the Moonbow, which is some nice armor-piercing damage against stuff. But, yeah, he's a pretty generic lord. I mean, he can just basically shoot and run. He's a pretty cool lord. For my opponent's front line, though, he does have Spearmen in the front line, and then he's getting held back by some White Lions as well, so a bit of armor piercing in there. No Sword Masters, though, so that was very nice for me. And then he's got some Silver Helms, I think he's got three Silver Helms, and then for his main, of course, damage dealer, he's got two Sisters of Avalon, which, of course, do a lot of damage through fire and magical damage. So, of course, with the fire damage against my trolls, we will do a lot, because, of course, they have regen, and they're weak to fire. And he's got a Lord Master of Hoeth, so, this is obviously how he's going to be getting. I mean, this guy's armor piercing, he's anti-infantry, but he also has a Spirit Leech and Earthblood. So yeah, very, very nice. So I mean, of course, as the generic game goes, we're sort of feeling each other out, being nice and gay here. I'm sort of getting my Marauder Horsemen to start throwing their armor piercing missiles into his Silver Homes. Now these guys are shielded, but it's still going to do a lot of damage to them because it is armor piercing, so they are going to take damage. So he then starts to charge these guys towards me, yeah, pretty generic stuff, he's like, oh yeah, come on, I'm going to try and get as much damage as I can on you. Over here, though, Anar, or Aleph, or whatever you say, is shooting into my Dragon Ogres and the Exalted Hero, so he's doing actually some decent damage. He hasn't dropped a model off yet, but yeah, it's pretty annoying stuff. I do try and get some damage on the Silver Helms over here, but they do sort of back off into the Sisters of Avalon. Over here, though, we do get some still more dice damage, and I do bring the Exalted Hero in and Archeon over here, and that's a fight the Silver Helms won't want to take, because if they get caught up in all this, then it would be very, very bad. But as I say, this is a very, very scary High Elf army. I mean, he's basically relying on his Sisters of Avalon to basically do the punishing here. So, like any good person, I'm leaving the Trolls in the reserve here. They're going to sit here and wait until the last very second to come back in. And my Chaos Warriors are basically going to all go in and start the grinding. We do get some really nice damage on those Silver Helms here, so it was a nice early start for me. He also his Sisters of Avalon are doing some nice damage though onto my Marauders with throwing axes. I mean, the thing is, against Sisters of Avalon, they outrange me, they outdamage me, so I just can't bring them in until I really, really need them. So I decided, okay, let's go right into the front line. So, you know, the thing is, Sisters of Avalon shooting into the Mirror Guard, that's absolutely great for me. I don't mind them shooting into these guys. I mean, yeah, they're a valuable unit, but they're shielded. So, and they got 100 armor. So, basically, all the damage that's coming from these missiles is basically not going to be doing nearly as much. His Lord is still shooting into my Dragon Ogres, though, and, you know, that's always a fucking problem. But see, now, in Total War Warhammer, there's a few things you need to take into consideration. Oh, actually, I was just watch this Burning Head. I believe my opponent does react to this. Let's have a look. My opponent does react just in time, but as I was saying, there's a few things you need to know in Total War Warhammer, is that nobody's ever going to take you on with an equal fight. So what I do here is I take my Dragon Ogres, I take my Chaos Warhounds, and I bring them round the side here, okay? This forces my opponent to completely reshuffle his army, okay? And this is something really important to, you know, remember. So I've got, you know, I've got the Exalted Hero here, I've got these throwing axes, I've got Archaon over here, and I'm bringing around all these units around here to sort of back up in this side. So it's going to force my opponent to basically move all his units around here and fight on a turn that's really kind of, you know, hard for him, okay? So, Burning Head doesn't really do much damage. Just go a long way, though. I think it does sort of chip my Chaos Warriors. Does it actually do any damage? Yeah, it does 3 HP to them. But the main line is engaging here. Mirror Guard fighting Spearmen, which is a lovely, 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 lovely fight for me. These Chaos Warriors are all charging as well against Spearmen. I hope I don't show them into the same unit, but yeah. He does take a mod off my Dragon Ogres, which is very, very scary. But I do send these Chaos, you see, these guys they were throwing axes into a few of these units, but I thought, okay, he's actually put his Sisters of Avalon in real bad positions here, so I do get a nice rear charge on them, because, of course, you can switch units into attacking, you know, into melee, basically, so I do get a nice rear charge on them. Over here, though, I noticed that his Lord was doing a shit ton of damage, so I decided to send the Manticore, or the Exalted Hero, onto him, and the Exalted Hero actually does a lot of damage. I mean, you know, his Lord doesn't have a lot of armor, doesn't have a lot of melee defense. I mean, it's decent, but, like, you know, with not that amount of armor, it's not. It's uses a Spirit Leech on him, gets some nice damage, but look at that, one attack, and it's already done a shit ton of damage. Over here, though, we have got a pretty nasty battle here. We've got Dragon Ogres fighting against the White Lions, and he's got his Silver Helms in here. But I've got Chaos Warriors in here, I've got the Poison Warhounds, and Archaon is in here, giving all those buffs and such. So, it's not doing too bad. Another Burning Head going down here. It does just chip, you know, those Sisters of Avalon, but it doesn't do a shit amount of damage. Over here, though, the Exalted Hero does rout off, but does pretty much rout off his Lord of the World. Does get a nice amount of damage, so I was actually very happy with that trade. Over here, though, is where the main fight is happening. I do have a Stand or Die here, and basically, it's just becoming a massive, massive tar pit here. I do finally notice that, of course, I have my Chaos Trolls here, so I do start to bring them in as well. I believe I send them over to the Sister of Avalon, but so this is what happened over here. So this was very, very scary. So he uses a Spirit Leech on Archaon. He's surrounded by Silver Helms, and he's got his Lawmaster of Hoeth in here. So it's a pretty scary fight for me. So I do cast the Slayer of Kings, and I use Cascading Fire Cloak. So I bring in the Chaos Trolls as well, and I do believe the Summoners of Rage do use their ability here. So yeah, I get a nice what is it called? It's the is it Charge Lightning? Not Charge Lightning. Where is it? Chain Lightning, that's it. Yeah, so we're getting a nice Chain Lightning on all these units here. He does still have his White Lions in reserve, and his Lord does come back onto the field. But, as I say, I've got some Chaos Trolls, they're fully armoured. My Summoners of Rage are sort of coming back in, getting some nice rear charges on these units. At this point, I sort of knew that I was winning this, you know, sort of engagement here. So what I wanted to do is I was trying to clear out the front line, get rid of all these spearmen that are tying down on my units. I do cast another Burning Head here. This one does a lot more damage than before. And it does roast those Sisters of Avalon. Very, very nice. Over here, though, Archaon is bloodthirsty. He is chasing down Aleph, or oh god, Aleph Anar, however you say his name. But he's getting shot by both Sisters of Avalon. And, you know, even though Archaon's got a lot of armor, he is shielded. It's not really, you know, great enough to sort of, you know, deal with all these Sisters of Avalon. So, I send the Summoners of Rage onto the Sisters of Avalon to tie them up. And we do start hitting in against his Lord, but eventually I have to pull out because, you know, yes, he brought some Spearmen in here. I do start bringing these Chaos Warhounds onto these Sisters of Avalon, and I do believe I send the Summoners of Rage onto these Sisters of Avalon here to tie them up. Archaon, though, is running away. I noticed how low he was here, and, you know, if Archaon goes down, then pretty much everything else was going to go down. So I do sort of retreat him. I believe I bring him back over here. Over here, though, Chaos Warriors are fighting against White Lions and Spearmen. Not a great fight, but I do have some Marauder Horsemen here helping out. You know, throwing in some axes. I've got a full unit of Chaos Warriors though finally coming in. I think they were fighting some Spearmen over here that they just won against, so I'm starting to bring them in. They're pretty much fully health, which is very good. Summoners of Rage are over here, are fighting against the Sisters of Avalon, which, you know, it's not really ideal, but they, you know, it was more to tie them down. I do believe my Chaos Trolls do route off here. Yeah, so Chaos Trolls actually have the, you know, possibly some of the worst leadership, but they do have regen. So you basically, you know, you take them, you know, they route off, they regen, then they come back into the fight, you know, pretty much all healthy again. And surprisingly, these guys haven't lost a model. So actually, you know, it's not that bad. Or it doesn't look like they've lost a model. Oh no, they have lost a few models. They've lost 4 trolls so far. But yeah, Sisters of Avalon are shooting into my Summoners of Rage, doing a lot of damage. Over here, we are sort of losing the engagement over here. My Chaos Warriors can't really fight 2 units at once. Archaon over here is just chilling. But the Mirror Guard are still, you know, alive, taking out these Spearmen. We've still got some Chaos Warriors here fighting as well. Some Spearmen do fully route off, which is very, very nice. And I do use the Marauder with Horsemen as sort of like a backline unit. I do get into his Sisters of Avalon charge. They'll do quite a bit of damage as well, which is actually really, really nice for me. Over here, though, he does have a unit of White Lions still fully health, and I was sending my Chaos Warhounds into his Sisters of Avalon, but he does bring the White Lions into health. But unfortunately, my opponent's front line is basically just, you know, gone at this point. The Chaos Trolls are coming back in, and they've got Fear. They've got, actually, what have they got? They've got Terror, I think. Oh, no, they've got Fear, so they cause Fear, so basically, you know, that's really good, helps route off a lot of these units. At this point, I sort of saw how low his Lord was, so I was like, okay, let's just get rid of these Spearmen, send these Chaos Warriors in here, and as soon as I route off these units, then pretty much I'm free to go for his Lord. But yeah, at the end of this, it pretty much just speeding this up a little bit here. I send my Chaos Trolls in. They do believe get a very nice charge here on all these Sisters of Avalon. Getting a lot of blood. His Lord pretty much has no more health. I mean, he's, you know, 300 HP. And he does start to run away here. I think this is a very, very nice moment here because I saw how low it was. And basically, I wanted my Lord to have the final kill here. So we'll get a nice cinematic shot here. They are getting some nice hits, but in the distance here, we do see Archaon coming for the final kill, lighting up his flaming sword, and he's coming, and one big swipe knocks his Lord to the death. Very, very nice. But yeah, so with his Lord gone, pretty much all my opponent had left was some White Lions, but at the end of the day, it's just not going to be enough. I mean, everything's going to start routing off due to the Lord dying. These Sisters have gone, those Lions about to go. These Sisters over here are actually getting chased off by some Chaos Warriors. Does have some Spearmen in here, but at the end of the day, as I say, it's not going to be enough. These White Lions here about to route off, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Just speed this up here because, you know, why the hell not? And it was used to route off. Very well played to my opponent. Very, very fun. I can't wait fucking for the 3rd game. Demons are going to be so fucking cool, and Chaos will be fully represented with all the 4 Chaos gods, so that's going to be epic. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.